Joburg is a wonderful city.
Yeah.
And if you're stuck in traffic right now, don't trip. Jamming in traffic with Wild.
Good morning, Kututu Lady here with your last flavor in the morning traffic update. An accident has been reported in Cleveland along the M2 westbound. Near the Cleveland exit, do expect delays from the N3 Haldenace interchange. And traffic lights are still off in Santon along West Street.
YFM runs the city, YFM runs Joburg. That's why Joburg is the coolest city in the land and in Africa.
Authorized financial services and credit provider.
E-wallet competition coming up.
So do you need some money? Well, we can give you some heavy money.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly believe that Johannesburg is blooming with life and with pizzazz. I think Johannesburg is, at any given point, 15 to 20 years ahead of the rest of the country, you know? In the same way that Paris is a global city, or New York is a global city, or London is a global city. South Africa, within South Africa, Johannesburg embodies that kind of urban vitality, that kind of complexity, that kind of sophistication, that mix. You know, the whole continent is in Johannesburg. The whole world is in Johannesburg.
The fundamental principle is that we're a very young democracy. We've come through a lot of issues over the last 40 to 50 years. And I think it's incumbent on every single person in South Africa to do their part in trying to build the country and to redress some of the inequalities that we've built up through the years. CBD was incredibly bad condition. It was run down. There was sewage running down the streets. There was garbage all over the place. People were chopping up cow carcasses on the pavements. We had gangs running around with AK-47s, hijacking properties. So it really was a no-go area. You need to create an environment where people can live with respect and dignity and bring up their families and feel proud of where they are. But with it, you need to address other social issues, such as public open spaces, parks, schooling, social activities on the weekends. We are doing it for social reasons, but at the same time, we do have a vested interest in fixing the area around our properties. So we look at it from a holistic perspective, that we're creating these safe places to live, but safe places for the families and their children to walk around in the streets. It all works together to increasing the value of the property and to rejuvenate the Johannesburg inner city. We've recently entered into an arrangement with AFD, which is the French Development Agency. They had a desire to assist in the delivery of housing below the level that the private sector can currently afford to deliver.
In many ways, South Africa is a polarized and divided society. That's one of the defining characteristics of South African identity. And walls, borders, division keeps people in place, keeps us where we are supposed to be. If you look at a city like Johannesburg, we, to a large extent, are defined by the walls that we live behind. You drive through the most beautiful suburbs with the most beautiful gardens, and you see palisades, and you see electric fences. My house has palisades, has electric fences, has an alarm, has sensors. The architecture of fear is a big part of the identity of the city. And sometimes I wonder if the walls are meant to keep people out, or are they meant to keep us in? I don't know my neighbors. I know maybe 2 of my neighbors in a whole block full of people. Beautiful house, beautiful lifestyle, very privileged lifestyle compared to many other parts of the continent, many other parts of this country, but an incredibly fearful lifestyle as well.
Johannesburg is a divided city. It's a segregated city. It's a city that holds all the legacies of apartheid and colonial rule. And that is true, and that's one of our biggest challenges, is to knit the city together. It's true that we no longer have legislated apartheid, but we still have the legacies. And we have new inequalities, new divides, new cruelties in the city. Let's talk about the way in which migrants are treated in the city. There's nothing that's legislated that compels people to treat migrants badly, but migrants present a real challenge to many, a real economic challenge. And so how we treat new people coming into the city, perhaps, is another test for the humanity of Joburg.
It's a city that's built on dreams. Everyone who comes to Joburg comes with a dream of wealth, of survival, of reinvention, of changing life for themselves and for their families. And in many ways, that's what holds us together. It's a mining town. It's a town that grew haphazardly. It's a town in many ways that has many borders, but that also doesn't have any borders. Johannesburg grows in every direction.
It's really important to make sure that people are mobile. So if I had the money, it would be to equalize access across the city. Let's start with public transport. If I had the money, I would put in a public transport system that would cover every corner of the city and would especially allow those who currently don't have access to public transport the opportunity to link into the mainstream of the city's economy.
On Kaya FM Biz with Stevie B. Brought to you by Business Banking from Standard Bank. Moving forward.
Good evening, lots coming on the show, but we are running a little bit late tonight, so let's go straight to the marketplace. Our man from Kratos Capital, Mr. Greg Davies.
Kaya Traffic.
We have to deal with those divisions, the divisions between the north of Johannesburg and Soweto, between Soweto and the informal settlements in the city.
The role and the responsibility of a school, it is to build up a nation. You look at children, for instance, from the local areas like Soweto, you look at children from the informal settlements, they still do not match those that come from, from well-developed areas. And it becomes a problem or a pain itself to say, they are all, after all, children. And therefore, why can't we begin to look into coming up with equal education and giving out, outsourcing all relevant resources that could actually make the future of the children to be vibrant.
If I look at the township where my family comes from, everyone knows everyone. People know even multiple generations of a family, from the grandparents down to the grandchildren. The neighbors know each other. When something bad happens in the community, people know who to go to. But suburban life, life in the city of Johannesburg and its suburbs, is not like this.
You look at Soweto. What is happening at Soweto? Soweto becomes the center, you know, whereby everybody wants to come in and look into what is taking place here. If you could have malls today within our local areas, that to us shows, you know, growth and development economically.
Because I was born and bred in Soweto, but then I had an opportunity to go and study in Venda, which is in the village. It's a rural place. So I will comment about opportunities that should be given to the children in Soweto. Children are a national asset. For them to be given the opportunity to realize their dreams, as much as I have realized my dreams, they've got better chances to be guided or directed to a lot of opportunities out there as far as their career advancement is concerned. I'm a strong believer of transformational choices. So what do I mean by that? Our children are now introduced into entrepreneurship, and how can one then come up with strategies to be an employer instead of being an employee. And yeah, I recommend that. And that's one thing that I would actually encourage from the youth of this generation.
And you look at other things, for instance, centers in terms of which become heritage points as well. And it also becomes a suburb itself. You know that gap is gradually being closed. It's coming very, very slow. We are also content by being here.
We do it for you, so keep on shining.
Josie has got a vibe about it. It's unique. We have a mixture of cultures that is absolutely unique. If we think it's one day going to be in New York or London, it's never going to be. This is an African city, but it's an African city with an African culture, and it's something that I think we can be absolutely proud of. And it's a place that I think that we can continue to build as the central hub for the rest of Africa.
There are walls, visible and invisible, but it is people like me that should ensure that those walls are broken down. We are the ones that should eradicate the stigma. You and I are a solution to those challenges.